जेफरी आर्मस्ट्रॉन्ग का जन्म तो टेक्सास में हुआ, रहते हैं वो ब्रिटिश कोलंबिया में, पर हैं वो वैदिक स्कॉलर। उनकी नई पुस्तक है भगवद गीता कम्स अलाइव। उनका आग्रह है कि संस्कृत भाषा के कुछ शब्दों को जब आप अंग्रेजी में अनुवाद करके उनका प्रयोग करते हैं तो उनकी वो जो सारगर्भित गहराई है वो ठीक ठीक संप्रेषित हो नहीं पाती। वो एक वैदिक स्कॉलर भी हैं, एक कवि भी हैं और साथ ही साथ एक शिक्षक भी हैं। तो ऐसे आचार्य जब पधारे न्यू जर्सी तो संवाद तो उनसे ऑनलाइन हुआ। उसका अंश प्रस्तुत है जेफरी आर्मस्ट्रॉन्ग। When you are in the circle of play of technology and you are having fun and you are enjoying, you think that this is all. So shifting from there to what you are saying, uh, how challenging it is.
Indeed. And the only way to sort it out is to have a vocabulary, to have the correct Sanskrit words, because the whole point of the Vedic civilization is a hum brahmasmi. It's not a humkara. I'm not matter. This body is not me. I'm not the color of my skin or my gender. I'm an atma who is within a body, and therefore that worldview, that perspective, is what will destroy the world or heal the world. And that is what the Vedic Vidya is all about. It's letting this aham brahmasmi technology go out into the world. So the way I like to say this is, when the British went to India, they stole Lakshmi. They called them the crown jewel, right? India was the crown jewel in the British Empire. But wherever Lakshmi goes, Vishnu goes too. They didn't know that. And Vishnu is yoga. So yoga followed. And who did yoga come from? The gurus. And who picked it up? The Shaktis, the females of Western civilization who couldn't hardly vote, who couldn't own property, started practicing yoga. And now yoga is Vishnu's answer to reuniting Lakshmi with Vishnu. In other words, we have to have the right consciousness to properly run the planet. And that consciousness comes from the Veda.
So, again, the essence of Vedas and Upanishad essence in Bhagavad Gita, and let us go to the idea of the Bhagavad Gita Comes Alive. It is also have subtitle that is a radical translation by Jeffrey Armstrong. Now, why radical term is used here?
Because if the other name for Lakshmi is Radha, and that's Krishna's Shakti. And Krishna is the Vishnu avatar that introduced us to the time period we're in right now at the beginning of Kali Yuga. So this is Kali Yuga, and in Kali Yuga, the world is transforming in unprecedented ways. But the Vedic culture was given the standard of living and consciousness that is necessary during that time. And that is what the Vedas are. So this is actually unfolding in such a way that now the programming languages and computers, this is what I learned in Silicon Valley, that knowledge came from India. It came from Sanskrit, mathematics, all of those things. So the Mahabharata and the Ramayana have references to astronomy that prove that it's at least 20,000 years old in the case of the Ramayana, and at least 8,000 in the case of the Bhagavad Gita and the Mahabharata. So this is the culture that preceded all civilization on our planet. And that's what was buried by the British when they buried Sanskrit and, of course, the history of Bharat.
Okay, so now you are based in British Columbia, Canada. And so when you are talking about British, I was reminded of that, as well as the fact that India became independent right after you were born. That was in 1946. You were born in 47. So this was December 46. The gentleman comes and he wants India to be independent. Just so right after that, India becomes independent.
All
Now,
right.
the responsibility of the way Sanskrit was not given its due, etc., cannot be on Britishers alone. So what India did with the glory of Sanskrit language after it became independent, we want to say something about that.
Yes. Let's talk about how this really happens. I'll tell you a funny story. I've never told this in a recorded version before, but my father, my last name is Armstrong. And when I was born and raised, yes,
Yeah.
Armstrong, Jeffrey Armstrong. Now, Armstrong is a Scottish warrior clan, Kshatriyas. And I was born in an Armstrong family. My father was an Air Force captain stationed in Bharat during World War II.
Oh wow.
He was in Mumbai. And so when I went into the ashram, he was quite surprised that his son was not a standard American, but was becoming a Hindu. This was a shock to him. But I called him up on the phone and I said, Dad, when you were in the military, weren't you stationed in Mumbai? He said, yes. I said, did you ever go to any temples or swim in any rivers? He said, yeah, the Ganga or something like that. So he swam in the Ganga. I said, then did you go to any temples? He said, yes. I said, did they offer you any food? He said, yes. As a matter of fact, he's something prasad or something like that. I said, yes. And did the priest say anything to you? Did the person in charge of the temple say something to you when you offered yourself to visit? And he said, yes. He said, may you have a son devoted to Vishnu.
Oh really?
Yeah.